Hey everyone, back again today on the porch. It's summertime and it's a little less hot today than it was yesterday. So we're gonna rock on the porch, right, Maisie? Yeah, Maisie's gonna rock with us. I think her friends Miles and Maverick might be joining us. They're thinking about it. They're over there. Um, Note to self. I discovered these coconut wraps that are made from actual coconut meat, and you can order them on like Amazon and such, and they're just a great alternative if you're not doing bread. But those babies go bad. So make sure you check the expiration dates, even if you haven't even opened the package. You can't keep those things for long. I just almost completely lost my whole lunch trying to eat that I didn't realize it had gone bad. I hadn't even opened the package yet, but it had expired. And man, is that disgusting. So just a note to self, if you want to try those things, you got to eat them pretty quick because they go bad. Anyway, it's my little words of advice. So today I wanted to talk a little bit more to everybody about how just how the devil operates and how he's going to get to you if you're not prepared and smart enough to understand the strategies that he does with each of us every single time. If you've noticed, it's been patterns. There's Mr. Miles, and he knows each of us very well and knows what to do to try to get you in the way that he knows how to get to you. It's very personalized, if you notice this. And so he figures out when we're kids what our weaknesses are. And so forever, the rest of our lives, he's operating from this place of trying to get us to cave to our weaknesses. And mostly how he's going to do it is he's going to do it through who he sends to you in your lifetime. A lot of times when I work with people, they tell me, I just feel like I keep attracting these narcissists. I keep attracting these narcissists. You know how many times I've heard that in session? And I think quite the opposite. I don't think you are doing anything. I think what you have to understand is that this same spirit has been trying to get to you through different people throughout your life. And it's a very strategic spirit. It knows how to operate to getting you to be weak for them, or what they're doing, or how they're doing it. And yeah, I was talking to a few clients today, and I wanted to share this with all of you guys. A lot more to share, but just off the cuff today, as I'm just trying to enjoy some time on the porch in between sessions here. I sort of went down this rabbit hole, if you will, about 4 or 5 months ago. I started watching these Catholic priests who are exorcists on YouTube. And they basically got permission from the bishop and from I don't know how far they went to getting their permission to start talking more openly and more publicly about how the demonic works and how they, all that they have learned through exorcisms. And I have to tell you guys, there's like 4 or 5 of them right now that are you will find their videos all scattered all throughout YouTube. They're going on different interviews and different channels. And it started with me looking at Father Vincent Lampert, and I just kind of I started with him, and I picked up on some things that I really want to share with all of you guys tonight that I think might help a lot of you when you're understanding that. I've talked about this on the channel, but when you get backed up when you get backup from people like this that are on the front lines day in and day out, fighting demons and battling demons, and these are things that you already sort of felt and known in your spirit, that you've sort of learned throughout your lifetime, and then you're hearing this all get backed up by what they're saying. It's pretty incredible, you guys, I have to say. And these are the things I've taken away from it. And I'm going to do more in-depth videos about this, but for tonight, I just kind of wanted to tell you openly some of the things that have been going through my mind, and especially when I seem to have a cluster of clients going through the same thing, and I feel like they get sent to me, for a reason, and it's so that I can speak to the majority of you about the fact that you're not alone. First of all, going through this, there's other people out there going through the exact same feelings and emotions you're going through. You see, the way that I wanted to show you. I'm going to show you our little man over here lounging. I was just telling one of my clients, I'm just so happy to see him be himself. It's just bringing me such joy. He's jumping around and healing and just being his old Miles self. Okay, so one of the things that I have really taken note and paid attention to is that typically the way the devil is going to get to you is he's going to bring you confusion. And if he can bring you the confusion by what somebody is doing or not doing, or just wondering why would somebody do this, you start to have those confusing questions that are going on in your head. Now this person has gotten you into the spot. It's like what I call the spot. You're in the spot. And if he can get you in that spot, he can do these other things that are next coming for you, which is typically always anxiety, depression, isolation. Anybody that has been under a demonic influence, if you will, a demonic presence, a demonic appearance in your life that has come in through somebody else or what they're doing, and it is now affecting you. These are typically the things you're going to see yourself going through over here. All right, it's demonic. And once you're in that spot and you got all those things dancing around you, the isolation, the depression, the anxiety, the isolation, the depression, the anxiety, this is how the devil can really do his biddings with you. And it's really, really, really difficult to acknowledge and to figure out that it's going on, and then to gather that, okay, how do I get out of this? Because I'm in it now. Like, I can feel, people can't help what's going on in their brain, right? Well, they feel that way at first, right? I can't really help this. I can't really control that. This person was like the last straw I needed to bring me to my knees in this state of, in the spot that I'm in. And so it's really, really hard. But I want you to recognize that this is how he does it. And once he's got you in the spot, he's got you. So now he's got you placed that he can do more with you. So if you're listening to this video tonight and you realize, hey, I'm in that spot right now, or I've been in that spot, you got to fight so hard to getting out. And I'm going to tell you, it's a lot easier than you think. I've learned some things from these exorcists, you guys. It's so much easier than we make it out to be. And so all the credit goes to God. All the credit goes to the Lord of how, calling on his name, calling on the name of Jesus is literally going to get you out from underneath. And we just don't think a lot of times to call out for him and to ask for his protection and for his help and for his mercy, and to get us to get out from underneath here. We need to get out from underneath here, because from here it can and it typically does get a lot worse. And so we can't allow it. We can't allow it. The devil, yeah, one of the priests, I forget which one it was. It was so funny. I was falling asleep again. I was like, I think I was asleep and I woke up laughing, but I didn't turn around to see who it was. One of them said, "The devil is a loser." One of these priests goes, "The devil is nothing more, nothing less than a loser." We need to not be afraid at all. All these exorcists and demonologists and deliverance ministers, you guys, they all have this what I'm about to tell you in common. And this is exactly what you have to keep in mind. Every single day you wake up, you got to fight to get to this place. And sometimes it'll be a bigger fight than others, but the more we can learn how to do this is how we do it. Okay? So the thing I found in common with all of these exorcists, these priests that I've been watching now for 4 or 5 months, and man, when I tell you, have I been taking a lot of notes? These are the main notes I took from watching all of them. Number one, they are very holy. There is something about these priests, Father Lampert, Father Rippinger, Father Dan. There's a few others that I've been watching, and when you watch them and you watch several interviews from them, you can tell that they have a relationship with God that would probably make all of us a little bit envious, and it's something that we want to aspire to have and to become, is to have, is to have this better relationship with God that is physically, you can physically see that on them. It's like it's their presence. It's just within them. It's something very hard to describe, but the word I use to describe it is holy. They're holy. Now, you can find these people in every single denomination, as well as people that aren't part of any denomination, but just happen to follow the word and follow Jesus's teachings and read the Bible. Okay, there doesn't have to be a label for this per se. You will find holy people throughout your lifetime that you just feel that they are closer to God in their spirit, personality, and attitude, a little to a lot more than you are. Okay. And you just like kind of long to want to be in their presence, or to want to listen to them, or to want to learn from them. The people that automatically come to mind that I've talked about a lot on this channel that just made me always feel that way are people like Derek Prince, Fred Rogers, they have this God Christ-like demeanor to them that makes you feel safe in their presence, that makes you feel inspired, and you want to be more like them. My meme was another one that I talk about all the time on this channel. Yeah, they're not perfect, and they'll tell you that, but like, so these exorcists have that. And when you think about it, and now each one of them, it's quite interesting. If you listen to these interviews that you can see on YouTube from all of them, there's multitudes of them. You will see that none of them wanted this job. Okay. No priest signs up to be a priest because they want to be an exorcist. All right. It was appointed, they were appointed for this position. And they'll tell you, like, they weren't even thinking that they were prepared for something like this. They had to train for something like this at the Vatican. It's there's a whole, it's like going to school. It's an entire, like, I believe it's like I don't even know how many weeks it goes on from morning till night. You have to learn all these cases of possessions. You have to, you know, they have exorcists come in to talk to them, to show them different things. It's very intensive. And so, anyway, you know, they talk about their first few experiences doing this. But the most amazing thing that I learned from all of them, and it's quite interesting, is they all have, it's interesting, they all have a sense of humor, and a really good sense of humor. They have this kindness in their eyes, in their demeanor, and they literally do not fear. They do not fear Satan and his realm and the demonic at all. That's how they're able to do this job, you guys. Think about it. How else do you get on the front lines every day and deal with the devil in such a crude and horrific and just, you know, in ways that would make people like you and I run the complete opposite way? They're running towards the fight. And they all say that you have to concentrate on what the Lord is doing and not on what Satan is doing at all in order to deliver this person. Because if you're paying attention to the devil and his antics and his acrobats and all the crazy things that he's manifesting and making you see, which isn't even happening. Okay, there's a way that the demonic can make things look and appear a certain way, like magic tricks, and it's not even going on. They can't even be paying attention to any of that. You know how hard that's got to be? And yet their successes, how many people, thousands upon thousands of people that they have successfully been able to get demons out of and exorcise out of them. It's incredible. It's absolutely incredible. Now, people like that are skeptics listening to this video tonight, you might say, well, where's the evidence? How come we don't ever see the footage of this stuff? This stuff, you guys, is absolutely horrific. No person in their right mind is even going to want to talk about the fact that they had these amount of demons in them that they needed to be delivered from, let alone, you know, it is one of the most traumatizing things that could ever possibly happen to a person. They're not gonna, you know, this is not anything that you want out under public display. All right. And I know I'm repeating myself in a lot of this video, but it needs to be said because I'm getting to a point here that I'm trying to make about all of this and how we're going to fight all the things that we are all currently living and experiencing right now. That is just, it's too much. It's just too much. As you guys are figuring out that this world right now is cruel. People are cruel and people are mean. As one of my clients said to me today, she said, you know what I'm realizing? People are so mean. She said, they're just, you know, they're awful. Yeah, I felt that. I did feel that. I felt that in my spirit too, that, yeah, there's something collectively going on here where we can feel that there's been such a shift in people's attitude towards one another. We see all these people having these blowouts publicly, public display of a blowout, you know, swearing up a storm in front of kids in a Walmart. This is becoming the norm now. Nobody even has any decency or care in the world that there's kids around, and they're using the F-bomb every other sentence. People are just dating to date. Nobody's taking it, you know, it's just, the days of decency, morals, values, structure, you know, caring for your fellow neighbor, caring for children. And we got to bring that back, you guys. And we can. We just got to concentrate really hard again on what God is saying to do and God wants us to do, and stop paying attention to all this evil. I mean, yeah, we have to expose the evil. And as I was talking to another client today about this, we were talking about the fact that, um, there's something, I feel like a bug flew over here. There is something that is really good about the fact that there's cameras now on everybody. Everybody's got a dash cam. Everybody's got cameras up throughout their house. People are recording each other on the streets and publicly exposing their behavior. And it's almost like going back to the olden days where, like, if you did something wrong, you were going to be publicly shamed for that. Where they did much more torturous things to you back in the day. If you did something that you weren't supposed to, they would publicly, cut your hand off in front of everybody else. But all this to say that there's something good about that exposure that's happening, but it's getting to the point where that's getting taken too far. And I just saw on TikTok the other day that now cops are displaying the public arrests of people from their body cam, but they are also, I saw it a few times now, where they let the address, they asked for the person's street address, and the person gave it, and that went up on TikTok. So these people are getting doxxed, and for some of these people, it's like the one mistake they made in their lifetime. They're not narcs, repeat offending mistakes. How is that legal that their addresses are doxxed on the worldwide internet? So, I mean, we're getting to some severe times. People are deciding to end their lives. I just saw a man from New York had a successful business. It completely went under during this whole, like, inflation and pandemic, and he saw no other option, and he took his life. He had children. He jumped off I don't even know what story it was, of a building in New York just this week, because people are feeling the desperation right now in these times of, like, what do I do? How do I get myself out of this hole financially? How do I stop this isolation? I can't even make any decent friends out there. People are so crazy and cruel. So I just want to say this. I wanted to reiterate this whole message of that I have learned from these priests. I know I've talked about it before, but for some people, this is going to be one of the first videos you ever see of mine. It'll come across your page or whatever. And I invite you to check this stuff out, because it's going to help you. The only way we're going to combat evil is to understand how it works and know how to fight back against it. And so things like showing up here in this community, helping each other in the comments, you don't realize this is saving people's lives right now, you guys, including mine. Yes, having this channel. A client asked me the beginning of the week, she says to me, Tracy, do you think if you didn't have this channel, you might have thought about some of the same things I just mentioned, for your life? Like, what's the point? I said, you know what? Yeah, because you guys helped me to see that I'm not alone. I am not going through these things alone. We're all going through these things, you guys. We're all feeling this sense of not belonging and isolation. And even if we want to go out there and meet people, we're just kind of like, oh, because people have been so disappointing to us in our lifetime, and hurtful. And we realize these things, So when we have a place like this, that I'm pretty proud to have made a safe place that people can go to share what's happening for them, to talk about how they're feeling, to talk about the truth of people, and what they're doing. It's a positive thing that we have. I plan to create more groups. I wasn't doing that for a little while, but when I realized that we have more people that became friends in groups that I had than we did that didn't get along. We had more people that became friends. There's still a group that met 5 years ago, I think, 4 years ago, through one of my groups. They all lived in different areas. One lived in another country. And they still all talk. I believe they still all get together every Friday night through like Zoom or whatever. And then they plan a trip once a year to all get together. I mean, that's what I want to see more of. We do need to lean on each other more, reach out to one another, stay together and help each other. It's so important. And you might think, well, how am I really connecting with anybody on YouTube? You are. I know that a lot of you know each other's screen names, you know each other's story through the sharing of the comments and things like this. And it's just, as we're feeling isolated and so on and so forth, allow me to try to create more opportunities for us to get to know one another. I will go into more, I can tell right away if people are joining a group because they're a predator and they're trying to just get dates or run through all the women in the group. Like, you ain't gonna happen, buddy. The minute I find out you're doing that, you're out. You're out. I have kicked people out for good reason, and they're never allowed back in any of my groups again. So, my people come and tell me what's going on out there. Okay. They come and tell me what's happening. And when I find out, and enough of you have come and told me, you're out. You're out of here. All right. As fast as we can say boo. Yeah. So I mean, yeah. I just hope that everybody can not feel so alone tonight and start to think about the patterns in your life, the people that have created these patterns that you can see yourself out just by choosing your attitude every day. The fact that that God is your God, the Lord is your God, and he can get you out of a burning fire. He can get you out of any situation, you guys, any situation. So just don't lose hope, please. I know, because there's times I lose hope too. I'm human, just like the rest of you. I have some ups and downs, good days and bad, but you know what? When I went down this rabbit hole of watching these priests, it has brought me to my knees, you guys, in what I've always known to be true. It's just these reminders that we need. I know I've talked about all this before in the channel, but I think tonight we all needed this reminder of, hey, you know what? It's all gonna be okay. I'm going, whether it's that you're going through a health scare right now, or you're going through, this feeling of isolation with these people that have just done you wrong, and you don't want to get back out there again. I hear you. You're scared about something. You're scared you're going to lose something. Um, I told you guys just a few weeks ago, I was in one of the darkest places I hadn't been there in a long time. And the Lord spared little man over here. And just don't lose hope, guys. Please don't. And I try to talk to as many people as I possibly can. It does get to be sometimes I get a lot with emails, and I try to do my best, and I have a few people helping me right now to sift through my emails so that they can send out, and we can sort of go through who's looking for the help, and then they help me sift through it and send me the people that are looking to do sessions. So yeah, I'm always here for you guys if you want to talk to me one to one and try to help you get some perspective of your situation. Well, anyway, I hope you all have a great rest of your day, night, whatever time it is for you, whatever country you might be listening in on. And I thank you for your support of this channel. Um, yeah, I'm going to be releasing some comedy stuff on my other channel. Wow, that's nuts. So make sure you're over there and subscribe because it's coming out soon. Well, I love all of you very much, and I am Trace Face, and it's time we all face the truth together.